Wolfpack, what's going on? Your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, rotostreetjournal.com, because we breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Here with the first ever RSJ rookie draft. We started this Dynasty League last year, and we got, as you can see there at the bottom, a bunch of the RSJ crew here live to talk through our rookie draft as we do it. So I cannot wait. You can see all the people we got: Emery, Chase Market Gains, Snow Deal, Toons, the Duck, the defending champion, and we might get some other guests as we go here. So we cannot wait to bring you this action. I know a lot of you guys have maybe already done your rookie drafts, but some of you guys might still be holding out. So this will give you another fresh take, an updated take on some rookie rankings. I actually updated my rookie ranks today. I've not published them quite yet because I don't want these a-holes stealing from me. Not that they probably want to anyways after last year's draft, but we will see. So thank you, crew, for joining me today. We'll kind of go back and forth as you get on the clock. If it's your pick, I'll unmute you. If you have something to say, they'll put it in the private chat, and we'll have you guys jump on in. We got CJ jumping in here at the last minute as well. So thank you all for joining. We'll just kind of get fired up. But before we get going, we had a blockbuster trade right before the draft started that we have to break down. I'll have to have my man Duck explain, the defending champ here. Sending over, if I just removed the Duck rather than unmuted him. Here he is. He's back again. You'll hear that Southern Preacher voiceover there in a second. But sending Cam Akers, and give us, what was the deal, Duck? Tell us the trade and why you did it, and we'll see who you're targeting in just a second.
Ooh, 1 minute. Let me pull that thing right up. There it was. It was with Tino. I sent him Akers and 108 to get the rights to the 102 and Tyler Higbee. I'm skinny and tight end, and I just needed some depth and some upside at the position. I'm rolling with TJ Hawkinson, and I've got Mo Alley Cox, Gerald Everett, another high upside tight end. And I wanted to add Tyler Higbee just to really make sure I'm not ever hurting at that position. You know how Hawkinson, he's good. Sometimes great whenever you've got him out there, but he has found his way on the pine a lot. And I don't trust Mo Alley Cox. He's just a dart throw guy. So I needed someone else I could throw out there like Higbee and Gerald Everett. And I'm still pretty loaded at running back. I've still got Zeke, Fournette. I've got my boy Elijah Mitchell, and I've got quality depth like Melvin Gordon there. I know that a whole bunch of them are farting dust at this point in dynasty terms, but I still have plenty to work with. So I was very comfortable shipping Akers off to get basically the second best pick in the draft, unless a crazy thing happens. I know who's going 101, but we won't spoil the fun.
In which case, you probably wouldn't even be too mad if that guy doesn't go 101 and falls to you. So we will have to kick this draft off and see who Duck was imagining. But Akers, positive reports coming out that he's catching a lot more balls this year, 100% healthy, which is still, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it after he averaged, 2.3 yards per carry. Last year didn't look nearly as explosive as where we saw. Maybe he's back, maybe he's not. I didn't hate the deal, depending on we go. But let's start this draft here.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
He said farting dust is a dynasty term, or is that just a Duck term? I've never heard that.
Yes. Yes to both.
Apparently, if you're old, you fart dust in exactly. the South down there. I love it. I'm gonna hit the start draft button if nobody else has any complaints. It looks like we're all here, so let's do it. And D'Lo is on the clock. Di Lorenzo, a new addition, adopting the just horrendous team of Nat Jones. The truth could not hang in Dynasty. But
hold up, D'Lo ain't on the clock.
Oh, yeah, we got to trade. That's right. So that's right, Dane. You traded for the 101 here. So as you got your minute and 2 minutes here. Why don't you talk about who you're going, what trade you made, and why you did it?
So it was shared in the pre-rookie analysis article that came out today. I imagine it was tweeted out too. If you didn't catch that, it was my deal with Jackson, and I can try and bring that up. So it's definitely a talking point.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of got. I feel like anyone looks at it, you can go both ways on it. Let me see if I can find it after I do this.
There we go. Breece Hall, the lock 101 for most people. as you select. And as you said, as you're pulling up the deal, that team, that whole article, great article, by the way, on rotostreetjournal.com. Again, we breed and feed you fantasy wolves, trying to pump up our dynasty content. I saw a couple thumbs up already come in. So if you're tuned in here live, please consider giving us that thumbs up, helping us get out to more people, continue to grow. But Dane references a great article he wrote, calling me a nice middler. I appreciate the compliment there on the draft. And you're apparently a contender, and it starts maybe with Breece Hall. So what was the deal? You've been wheeling and dealing all around. So maybe tell us a little bit about what you've been wheeling, dealing as we kind of get tailback Tino on the clock here. Let us know what you've been up to, Dane, in this league.
Well, let me just check this out here. Or let me see if I can do it from memory here. I got the 1-1 from Jackson. Let's move along. I got to find this because there's a lot of moving pieces. I don't want to get it wrong.
Fair enough. Once you find it, you let us know. We'll talk about it.
Got it.
I know Lamar Jackson was involved. I know Allen Robinson, right?
Yes. So here's everything. I sent Jackson Barrett, Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, Mark Andrews, Amari Cooper, and my last of my 4 2023 firsts that I had at the end of last season. And I got the 101. And then I got Dak Prescott, Allen Robinson, Noah Fant, 2023 second, 2024 third, and do you say, is it Kenneth Nwangwu? Is that how you say it?
Might be. I have no idea. Good question.
Yeah, I could be wrong there, but yeah, I know it's a lot of moving pieces. Role plays a situation plays a big role in trades. So a lot of times, especially with something with so many pieces like this, I think value-wise, a lot of people would go with the Lamar side. As far as my situation, I thought it was worth it. And I don't know. We could probably go back and forth all day about who won, if it was a fair trade and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm here if anybody wants to roast me about it. I'm fine with it. I could definitely see how it could go wrong.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Lamar fan myself, so I don't even hate the deal on your end. And I do love A-Rob. I think he's still got a few great years left in him, especially coming to the Rams. So I know I roasted you just to roast you. I like to do that. But I actually, after looking at it in hindsight, I didn't mind the deal. And certainly if Breece Hall ends up being what we expect, I don't. But Duck, you go Kenneth Walker here at 2, kind of shocking us here. I assumed you were like in Drake London. That's what I texted you earlier. Nice deal. You go get in London up there. But no, you go Kenneth Walker, and Snow Deal talking some trash in the chat too, which I'm also a fan of. So let's hear your take, Duck. Let's hear what you say, Snow Deal, and feel free to make your pick at any point.
Well, as we all know, my youngest running back is Elijah Mitchell, who
Drake London. Yes, continue on.
He missed 6 games last year?
Mitchell, yeah, something like that.
He's my youngest running back I have on my roster. I have Zeke, Fournette. You see where I'm going with this. I need somebody.
The dust farters, as you call them, yes.
Yeah, those little dust farters. I needed somebody that was younger and had year 2 upside, even though I'm still thinking that he's possibly in a committee for 2 years.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck.
Wow.
It sounds like he wasn't going to make it to me anyways, but I wanted Olave real bad at 6.
Here comes Jimbo with the steal of the draft.
You think Olave's the steal of the draft?
No, Jimbo's about to get him.
Oh, come on. No, Drake London at 3 is the steal of the draft. A prototypical Alpha X #1. And then we see Olave, Garrett Wilson, Drake London all going off here.
I was clearly mistaken. Wolf, you have the chance for the steal of the draft.
I wonder who you're referencing, but I am not a Traylon Burks fan myself.
Oh, heavens no.
He's referencing Kenny Pickett.
Exactly. How did you know?
Brian Robinson.
I'm sure. But man, I was really hoping for Olave. I know CJ, you said what the fuck, but you weren't going to get him. He wasn't going to make it past me at 6. I actually bumped him up to number 3 today, behind Drake London, behind Breece Hall, ahead of Kenneth Walker. So again, Duck, I don't know what the hell you're thinking there. Not a fan at all of that pick, but I love the value you got on Olave and Drake London. I think Garrett Wilson, a nice safe pick for Jimbo. I would have probably gone him there too. I don't like any of these guys. So I wonder who Duck's referencing as the steal of the draft, but I am going to go with JMO.
Oh, man.
That guy's
The guy we were all talking about after that mock draft that he went
Exactly.
way
The
too
guy
late.
CJ got at 11 that we all
Yeah.
realized couldn't be the thing. What was that noise, by the way? It was, oh, wow. What the hell was that?
I don't know. Can you shut that off?
I hope to never hear that noise again.
That's sleeper.
Oh,
Yeah.
they just do that after every pick? Or?
I guess so.
If you're the person picking, yeah, it does that. I had to mute mine.
Oh, it's atrocious. I don't want
Yeah,
to
I
hear that
muted
ever
it too.
again.
No, it's when you reach.
Yeah.
To me, though, Duck, is Jameson Williams the steal of the draft you're referencing?
Absolutely. He's got the most upside of anybody in the draft. I don't even think that's up for debate.
I agree. Remember, we had Mike Tannenbaum on not too long ago. He said, Garrett Wilson would be his pick for the immediate impact at receiver, but Jameson Williams, the truly special speed in this class, the Tyreek Hill level explosion. I'm with you. As a project, I unfortunately have a roster that could use an injection of immediate usable upside, but by the end of this year, I could see Jameson going in the top 2 rounds of every dynasty draft as that next great receiver. So I don't mind it at all as a project. Maybe I am starting to move towards a 2023 type of rebuild, though, and I might have to sell off my Rodgers and Kirk Cousins for anybody that might be interested here. Let me know if you're desperate for a QB. Zenos looking at you. If you're even tuned in, he doesn't have the green light. CJ, will you text Zenos? Make sure he knows the draft's going on.
Hold on, I just tried to do my pick on the computer and it's not working. 1 second.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you only got 25 seconds. So, Dotson, interesting, CJ.
Wait, what? Oh my god!
Oh, did you?
Do we need to pause this?
You traded with D'Lo, didn't you? So you're not up till pick 11, anyways.
Oh, why did it? Oh, okay, that just screwed me up.
You're the
Oh my
last pick.
God.
Yes,
Man doesn't even know his own pick spot.
No, I know. I have 12. I was confused for a second seeing my name up at the top.
Yeah, it's my first time doing a rookie draft too. So that's when I was talking trash about D'Lo at number 1, and then Dane was like, "No, that's me." So now we know those little underneath bear. Those tell us who's actually picking underneath. So you're not up for a little bit, CJ. Who were you?
12.
I guess we'll wait. So then tailback Tino getting Traylon Burks. Maybe a steal, maybe not. I know Snow Deal, you're a huge fan of Traylon Burks. What are your thoughts on him falling? Oh God.
8's crazy. Dotson, and I feel like every rookie draft I've done so far, I've done 6. I haven't seen him go past 5. So I know we got some weird oddballs in this league. So I thought Olave at 4 was kind of different too.
I love the pick. What had you so high on Traylon Burks? Why is he this lock that should have been in the top 5? Because I have him at 7 on my rookie big board. Not a huge fan myself.
So I like big wide receivers. He's fast. He's game speed. He can beat separation. He is crazy with the ball in his hands, yard after catch. He torched. I know Alabama's cornerbacks weren't as great, but he torched Alabama. He's played SEC ball for 3 years. I had more stuff written down. I have stats, but they're not right here in front of me. But
we don't need that. This is
need that right now. He's got the dog in him.
Who needs those numbers? Yeah, he's got the dog in him while he huffs and puffs on the sideline like a pug. He's got the pug in him. Asthmatic, just puffing his lungs out over there. I don't know. Guy can't stay on the field already. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Traylon Burks. Before this draft, there's so many gadget plays and so much stuff that maybe they'll drop for him in the NFL if he can even stay on the field. But playing behind Austin Hooper at this point doesn't
Steal
sound
the draft is CJ with Sky Moore at 12.
Sky Moore at 12 goes to CJ. Yeah, so let's just recap the first round as we get to the top of round 2. It went Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, 2 backs at the top, then Drake London. Papa Toon's getting a steal right there, in my opinion. Should be the number 2, maybe even 101 if you needed a receiver. I think he's going to be we'll keep going. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams going 4, 5, 6. Then D'Lo drafting Jahan Dotson. I wish he was here to tell us about what's going on there. He has been electrifying in camp, all these good reports. And speaking of who has the dog in him, I think Dotson has way more dog in him than Traylon Burks. But he goes at number 8, still, as you said, usually going top 5 in most drafts. So we'll see there. Pickett going to Jimbo Slice. Right after there. This is a 2 QB league, so that seems to make sense. The only QB going in round 1 right now. James Cook going to Kendall at pick 10. Tailback Tino then taking Christian Watson, potential number 1 for Aaron Rodgers if he can actually get his routes down and struggling with drops early in camp. Who knows? Sky Moore going to 12. to CJ. And now we are back to the top of the draft with Rashad White fallen to, I believe, D'Lo, now back at the top there. And now tailback Tino, or no, Papa Toon's going at 102. So, CJ, you took Sky Moore and you got told you got to steal the draft. Do you agree with that? What do you like about Sky Moore there?
I mean, those are lofty words. Honestly, you're just the best player available to me, so I just went with them. Great offense, tons of targets are available now. I mean, I'm fine with it. Right now I'm in a rebuilding mode since I sold my entire team this offseason. So
since you got destroyed for Christian McCaffrey, the worst trade of the entire league.
Hey, no comment about that right now. But yeah, so I mean, I feel fine about it, but it's not like it's gonna do anything for me this season, anyways.
Yeah, and I do like the Sky Moore upside. You thought it was a steal the draft snow deal. What'd you like about it? Oh, if I unclick Kenneth Walker the whole draft. Thank you, Emery, for the. I was wondering how I.
I just think he fell.
How do
He just
I?
kept falling.
How do I make the whole thing light up? It's like showing 1, 2, but yeah, he did fall for a while. I don't know how to make this all show light up, but yeah, I mean, I like here. Maybe if I click everybody, no. This I've never seen this share draft board. I don't know. Is that better? No.
Oh, it looks a little better.
You think that looks better? It's tough to see. What do I have to click?
Tunes, I don't like you.
Ah, there we go. All right.
I don't like you. I don't like your face.
Glad I didn't trade for a mid-second.
Why are you I'm up too, but while I'm making my selection here, why are you pissed at Tunes over there, Duckling?
Well, I saw where the draft was falling, and I sent him a trade offer trying to snag the 2-2 and 2-3. You saw who he got at 2-3. You knew I was going for him.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
Check out 2-2 though.
I'm really
2-2.
salty.
Some guy
exactly
projected him
what I
at
would have done.
106.
Do what at 106?
Don't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
So why did you want Damian Pierce so bad?
Oh, you already know how I feel about him. I wrote that banger on him describing how he may be behind Marlon Mack early, but by the end of the year, he'll be the horse for the Texans, and he'll be producing quality numbers. And his upside is, as I put it, like the next Alvin Kamara. He doesn't need high usage, but he'll ball out and produce.
And I have Mac to start the season.
I don't love the spot I'm in, by the way. You have what? What did you say, Tunes?
Said I have Marlon Mack to start the season.
Oh, you got the whole nothing like locking down the explosive backfield of the Houston Texans. What an
Touches are touches.
what an offense to be all the way in on. Man, I
touches
don't
are
love
touches.
this pick. I'm going Alec Pierce. Wow. And I got a nice annoying, awful noise for it.
At least you have upside at the position.
I know, loading up on my wide receivers, hoping to find that next great. I like some of the quarterbacks, but I mean, Malik Willis, who knows if he's ever going to be a starter. Desmond Ridder will probably start, but I'm not a huge fan of him. So I know the 2 QB settings. I feel okay with Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins and Trey Lance to not have to dip into, reach into a quarterback class that I just don't love myself. So I was looking at receiver either way, and it might have been David Bell if Deshaun Watson was guaranteed to play this season or ever. But right now, who knows what that's all about. So I'm going Alec Pierce. Anybody want to roast me? Think I'm a moron? No.
Not yet.
Oh, Tunes, why am I an idiot? Tell me why. Come on now.
Well, I'm looking at David Bell not for this year, but for next year when that wide receiver core is even thinner. Wow. He's going to be the clear-cut number 1.
Man.
You think over Cooper, huh?
I don't think they're going to be able to hold on to him.
Really? Didn't they? Mm-hmm. Cooper they extended him, no? Or is he a free agent next year? I thought Cooper had
they extended him.
Yeah, they extended him.
Yeah, but did you see the contract though? I don't think they're gonna be able to keep the money on them. They're gonna move them.
All right, fair enough. I don't think so at all, but we will see. Bell could be an interesting slot guy though, especially if my worry with the whole situation is if they avoid the contract and they get rid of Watson, then you got this run-heavy attack that no receivers are good in for the last 2 years anyways. Like, why is David Bell suddenly going to buck that trend? I don't know about that. I like Matt Ryan. I like the reports of Alec Pierce dominating in camp. I still hate that noise. But I feel like Alec Pierce, a lot of good tape on the guy, really explosive. To me, he's got a ton of upside, and he's right away potentially producible. So we'll see. Maybe they can't get out of the deal. I thought they could get out of the Watson deal, like if he gets suspended for a full year.
No, I don't think so.
No.
But no, so I just looked up. So Cooper has, after this year, only has a $4.8 million cap hit, and then 23 and 24, he has $24 million cap hits back to back.
Oh, yeah. So he'll be there. Round 2 so far, though. Rashad White. In case you listen to the podcast, make sure everybody stays in. George Pickens, I love that pick from Tunes. So, Tunes, you do have some decent draft capital here. We'll see if any of your picks pan out. But I like what you did. Your team kind of tanked, and you just immediately sold it. And you're racking up some picks here between Bell, London, Pickens. You might have yourself – you got to think at least one, maybe two of those three really pan out. So, not bad. You're getting the double thumbs up from Snowdeal. He likes the way you're rebuilding here. I agree too. If you can hit big on 1, 2, or you think about like a Jefferson, once you have 1 or 2 of those guys, these horses at the wide receiver position, these next few years, I think it's a huge deal. But so well done the rebuild process. I'll give you that, even though I don't love David Bell. And then after Bell, so it went Pierce, Spiller, Algier, who Jimbo went. I'm not a fan of Algier myself. I had volume available right away, but I think he's trash as a player. I think he's going to get phased. He's kind of like a younger Mike Davis there, just going to get phased out early. Pierce, Bell, Willis, Ritter, Robinson, Zamir White rounds out the first round, with Willis going to UCJ, the first quarterback off the board in a while. You think he takes over sooner than later, or what are you doing with Malik Willis there?
Honestly, I just don't. My quarterback situation is just dead after Duck snake Tua from me right before they got
I still can't believe you did that.
What was the deal for Tua?
It was first of all, it was literally 2 days before Tyreek got traded there.
I gave him the last pick in the first round.
He gave me a first for Tua. I felt fine with it at the time.
I gave him the 112.
Sky Moore for Tua, the 2 QB league. Hey, maybe Sky Moore ends up being the Chiefs alpha for years to come. We'll find out. We also rounded out with Jalen Tolbert. So Tunes, 4 receivers in your first 4 picks. You just trying to load up and just hope for a Justin Jefferson Hail Mary type of thing, or what's your thought process here, Tunes?
I just see the value of this draft as wide receiver. After Walker, Pierce, and White, I don't see another running back I'm willing to take a chance on in the second. So, powered offense. Let's go with Tolbert there at the end of the second.
And a wide receiver just went off the board that made a lot of people moan too. Speaking of I'm with you, by the way. I think wide receiver is definitely the way to attack this 2022 class here. But a lot of moans with Wandale, myself internally moaning as well. I wish I was hoping he would fall to me. It sounds like there's no chance that was happening. Anybody want to speak highly on behalf of Wandale? I don't know who had the loudest moan there.
Who do you think?
That was at the duck moan. I thought I knew that moan.
I jumped up in the air and stomped around in my living room. I was
trying to trade for him.
I sent him an offer right when he picked him.
Yeah. Oh, you were trying. Yeah, we haven't had any. It's tough doing I certainly can't make any deals when I'm trying to narrate this all. But Duck, you were pissed to miss out on Wandale. Anything beyond just him being a Kentucky boy? Why do you love the guy?
I think he's a better version of Kadarius Toney. And we saw what Kadarius Toney was able to do in small stretches for the Giants. Now that they actually have options to force safeties back, pull linebackers in or off of him, he's a more refined route runner. I think after a little bit of polish and learning the speed of the game, he's going to be what everybody thinks Kadarius Toney is. Plus.
Interesting. I'm with you. You obviously have seen him play more than I have and more than most because you're a Kentucky fan again. But all the reports, too, out of camp so far, highlight days, and this is mandatory mini camp. It's still like shoulder. It's nothing, crazy, but every day they're saying he's the one making the highlight grabs, making plays over everybody. Zeno, did you get a hold of Zenos, by the way, CJ? Is he here?
No, I forgot to text him. Why did you not He hasn't
I
drafted
texted
at
him
all?
earlier. I think he knows to be here, but I don't know. He doesn't have the green dot, so
He's the tight end king today. Then
it's too bad. I was really hoping. Oh, so it says set player. It's manually set a player for pick.
I got him.
You got him.
Punish him.
Yeah,
Punish.
give exactly punish him. Give him like Matt Corral. He needs a quarterback actually. So my guess is he'd want a quarterback here. Give him Corral.
You got it.
He does need a quarter. He literally starts Jameis Winston and
Damn.
Carson Wentz with no backups right now.
No
so.
quarterback for us, Emery.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, no.
it's a tricky one.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm so
We got
sorry.
Ritter snakes from us.
I've had my heart ripped out of me in this draft. I
Tony
really
Ritter.
thought I'd be able to move.
Yeah,
on.
Ritter almost fell to you guys there, El Padrino, huh? Let me text Zenos and make sure can join in. But yeah, Wandale ripped your heart out. I mean, Corral here, I actually like Corral more than the other ones. I think he has more immediate usability. So
I didn't see that text, Emery.
what? what
He's
was
like
the text?
Corral if he's there.
Oh, did you pass up on him? Oh, at
No,
at
at
Robinson?
3-9. I didn't think I thought he was going to last that.
You thought he was going to make it all the way back to that pick? I don't know about that.
To 3-9,
I thought
yeah.
so.
Maybe.
3-9. That would have been nice if he made it back, but I probably was thinking about scooping him here at 3-6 if not.
Bailey Zappi.
So far round 3, Kiante Ingram, interesting pick. I wouldn't have hated it if Darrell Williams wasn't there, but I feel like that's like your classic 6th-round running back that just ends up being nothing, and he might have had a shot this year to become something. I do like the fact that the one guy who's behind Robinson at Texas, like of course he's gonna not outplay him, but he had a pretty good career otherwise. But I just think that's a little bit of a reach. I would have preferred exactly who CJ just went here, Tyrion Davis Price. I love his
Honestly, I think he sucks, but that the board just kind of stinks right now. There's no one that I really love.
CJ, why don't you like your team, man?
Oh, I hate my team.
CJ hates everybody he takes.
I hate this draft. I wanted to get out of this draft. I have a lot
TDP
for
is
next
better
year.
than Trey Sermon for what it's worth. He
Damn,
actually has
I really thought Trey McBride might fall to me here at 3-6, which would have been just an absolute steal. But Kendall had to snipe him in class right now. Thank you, Kendall. Paying great attention to class, I'm sure. Fuck. Man. And I need a tight end too, so that would have been real nice. Back to the drawing board. Well, anybody want to sing McBride's praises while I relook at what I have to do here? The number 1 tight end in the draft, no doubt, right?
I just wonder if who here, like, what's Zamir White's role? I'm sitting here with Josh Jacobs, and it's an uncertain situation, but I don't feel threatened right now at this point about Josh Jacobs' immediate
Well,
future.
they already said they're not picking up. They didn't pick up his option, so I think they're ready to move on from him. It seems.
Think committee back.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of those nowadays.
Correct.
And does he still not have the talent? Say Josh Jacobs goes somewhere else. Does he not have the talent to be the primary back of a committee back there and still be very fantasy relevant?
Zamir White, you're saying, or Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs.
I think he's talented, but I think he hates fantasy. The times he talks about wanting to have a committee, like what back do you ever have say, like, I want a committee. Please give Kenyon Drake more touches. Like, I hate him. He's got no dog in him. Speaking of dog.
You got to ask Dynasty Jacobian about that one.
Yeah, is he not a fan or is he a fan?
No, he's a big fan. The dude has a Twitter like dedicated to Josh Jacobs. Dynasty Twitter dedicated to Josh Jacobs. And
I'm gonna have to check that out then. I think
Dynasty Jacobian. I'll plug him. I like him. He's a good guy.
Good stuff. All right, fair enough. I do like Zamir White too. They're talking about him potentially being the back of the future. They, as you were saying, they didn't pick up the option on him, so I think that was a nice pick from Kendall there. I'm still fucking pissed about Trey McBride not falling to me. Ugh, damn it. But I went Mechie. I'm not a diehard fan, but I have now with Williams, Pierce, and Mechie, like I feel like I'm going to hit one of these receivers out of the park. Probably Williams, but I don't mind that receiver core as well. Jelani Woods going right after, so 2 tight ends off the board so far. Not a whole lot left here. Pretty slim pickings, pretty quick. Anybody got like a pick that they love or hate right now that they want to either bash or praise?
They're coming for me. I know it.
I do like
a lot can happen. A lot can change for any team, but a lot can change for Seattle in a year. Like I don't like Kenneth Walker's situation, but a lot can change in a year.
Yeah, I think Duck has the worst pick of the draft right there with Kenneth Walker at 2.
Well, I needed running backs, and I wasn't going to count on being able to get Pierce.
Yeah, apparently not, right?
Yeah.
But I think if London is what I think he is, a lot of talented people out there, much more talented than me think he is. I think you're going to be regretting that one.
Yeah, I hope I hope I don't. We both know I liked him. I praised him early on.
Yeah, I guess it brings up that whole idea of drafting for need versus talent, and where do you go in a dynasty league? Because obviously, if you needed running backs, I certainly need running backs. And look at me, I've gone 3 wide receivers just because I think the talent was so much higher there at the position. I mean, does anybody have a strong opinion on need versus talent, in particular with a dynasty league?
I went that way because I'm the defending champ and I want to defend my title.
True.
I think it depends on what you're looking at in your window. So in some rookie drafts, I sold my whole, all my picks just to get one player because I knew that would help me try to win a championship immediately. And then another rookie class, I'd kept trading all of my middling talent just to get first round picks. So I feel like it's just based on what you need. So Emery and I need running back. So we debated over Justin Ross or Haskins, and in a run heavy offense, if Henry does go down, the odds of Haskins being fantasy relevant is way more significant than Justin Ross, a UDFA, performing. So
it's a fair point. And they really don't have who's the next man up if Henry goes down, which you saw last year. It's like Hilliard, Dontrell Hilliard, or Haskins.
Yes.
Probably Haskins. Bruiser out of Michigan,
Haskins.
right? Yeah. Go blue, CJ.
That's right.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, no thanks.
I mean, if we want to talk about D'Lo taking over for Nat's team, we can hold off comments about what the state of Nat's team was when D'Lo got it. But it seems like I don't know if these picks are helping out a bunch for having the 4th, 7th, and 13th. I keep looking at those. I keep looking at Jahan Dotson. That's an interesting one to me. I don't know if we're talking about that enough. I mean, was that a reach? Is everybody kind of thinking that was a reach?
He traded the 101 for Olave and Dotson.
Brees Hall for Olave Dotson?
Seemed great to me.
Yeah. I'd take Brees Hall over Olave Dotson, but one of them pans out. Yeah, I'm with you though. I'm with you, Emery. I think I'd rather have Brees Hall. Is that essentially what that trade amounted to? Huh?
Somebody got Freiermuth and somebody got Fant out of the deal. I can't remember who got what, but those were kind of, at the moment, those kind of seem kind of even.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I think Dotson 7's a reach. Even though I don't love Burks, the upside is there that Burks is the linebacker size Deebo Samuel that we've seen those comps. Whereas Dotson, could be just a good high volume reception guy, but is he ever going to be a true, this guy you need to have as an anchor to your dynasty team? Probably not. Probably at best a nice serviceable wide receiver too, whereas Burks could just be that next guy. Even though I don't love that case, if I'm sitting there at 7, I'm probably going for the upside there.
I mean, is Dotson going to be? He's not going to overtake McLaurin, right? But if McLaurin, doesn't get re-signed, is Dotson still going to be the bona fide one there, or are they going to get somebody else?
That's a good question. I mean, electrifying in camp. I wonder how good he certainly was an alpha in college, right? What was it, 30% target share and hauled in the majority of it with horrible quarterback play. I mean, I don't want to undersell Dotson either.
Right.
He's got some upside to him.
Maybe I'm just thinking about situation too much.
Yeah, we'll see. He was definitely a college alpha. It's a matter of can that translate in the pros too? He's certainly gonna have a horrible quarterback throwing to him. So, we'll see how that pans out.
Oh, excuse me, y'all.
The final round here.
These rookie drafts go so quick.
Yeah, they really do, huh? So Thornton, what was he, like the fifth receiver off the board for the Pats? Some upside there for D'Lo potentially. We'll see. But it seems to me like a lot of people are not fans of D'Lo's draft, and I can't say I am either.
Kiante Ingram, I feel like he's gonna be replaced in 1 or 2 years. That's something else.
I agree too. I think that was a terrible pick.
I don't know. I don't hate the Olave pick, obviously, but
Right.
and Dotson too. But if your team sucks that bad, wouldn't you want like a horse for your next 10 years?
Do you think Ingram's going to be that?
No. I'm saying how he could have had.
Brees. Yeah. I
depends,
agree. Right.
It depends on if you think you're one draft away, maybe. But like if you think it's a multi-year thing, like it might be with D'Lo's team, then I could see wait until you kind of want I feel like you kind of want your running backs, your workhorse running backs, to kind of be last before you're making your claim as a contender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true because the window on receivers is typically a whole lot wider and longer. You usually get a longer longevity out of the wide receivers.
Yeah, if you still got kind of a mediocre team and you're getting, these workhorse backs, that's really just, and if you're going to be a middling team, that's really just hurting your draft capital. And
but
then
I think
you haven't really
pick Hall and you trade him.
What's that?
I feel like you got to take Hall. I don't think if I took over his team, which I was considering jumping off Emery's bandwagon and taking over for the truth when he said he didn't want to be in here. But when you have 1-1 in a draft like this, I don't think you deal it. Like no matter what you get, I wouldn't have done it if I got Burks and Olave.
Yeah, could have gotten more probably than Dotson and Olave. I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah,
but there is like he is playing for the Jets too. It's like is Hall a complete lock? I think everyone's locked him into 101, so we all assume he's just this next great workhorse, athletic freak. Yes, can he catch the ball? Absolutely. They have a solid line there in New York. But he might be strapped to Zach Wilson for 3 of his years.
That's what scares me about Wilson. I don't like Wilson anymore. I love the talent, but no, Garrett Wilson. It just scares me. I feel like that. I don't know.
Right,
I just don't buy Zach Wilson at all. I never did.
It's good. Like DJ Moore is a perfect case. A great wide receiver who just had a horrendous quarterback play that he's never been worth his dynasty value. Maybe long term he someday will be, but to me, I don't know about that. So yeah, I don't know if Brees Hall's like the lock everyone's making him out to. All righty. I'm pumped for my 4th rounder here because I was potentially going to go this guy in round 3, and he's still here, and that's Pierre Strong, the next potential James White for the Pats.
Kevin Harris.
Yeah.
I love it. I love Pierre Strong. I think Harris is on his way out. They might ride him one more year. But Pierre Strong has the most 3-down upside. They're already talking about him for the James White role. I think him in round 4 any day. Like I said, I almost went him in round 3, but Mechie just was too talented, in my opinion, to pass up. Even if I got him and Williams, I got all the Alabama boys on the men tier. But I think long term, I'm gonna start gearing up for a big 2023 run. I think is what I'm gonna be looking at with this team. But I love Pierre Strong. You were pissed, CJ? Is that who you were eyeing?
Yeah, I thought it'd be able to fall to me. The exact same thing you just said. James White will probably start off on PUP this year, and if he can make plays in the preseason, and if he doesn't fumble the ball or anything, then there's a good chance he'll play a lot next year.
You could say he has strong hands.
He does.
With that, we're out of here.
That was the worst joke of the day.
And the few live viewers we had have quickly evaporated, folks. Oh man! But if you are still here somehow enjoying this train wreck, please do give us that thumbs up. Help us get out to more people as we wrap up the draft here. Round 4 has gone Thornton, Shakir, which by the way, I think that's a nice pick there, Emery. Velus Jones, which I also really like this 4th round, actually quite more than the 3rd round. I like Otton with Gronk's retirement there, Tunes. There's definitely some volume up for grabs in Baltimore if they are going to bring Dobbins and Gus Edwards around slowly, like they've said. So that could be a good one. As I've already sucked off Pierre Strong, I clearly think that's a good one. Calvin Austin, now it's getting a little ugly here towards the tail end, but I almost like all of those first 5-6 picks of the fourth better than the last 5 or 6 picks of the third. Am I nuts?
No, there's more
No.
upside here.
Yeah, there's more upside.
Like,
Oh no, with Calvin Austin, I don't love the player, but I just trust Pittsburgh with what they do with receivers.
it's fair.
Like, they hit on basically every receiver they draft, so
Yeah, they do.
not the worst dice roll at the end of the
No.
draft.
Tunes, what about Velus Jones? The 29-year-old coming out of college, however he is, 43.
That means he's in his prime.
Yeah, right. Gearing up for a big prime run. But what are your thoughts with him? I actually love Velus Jones. I know I'm shitting on him right now, but I really like him. What are your thoughts?
He just looks like a tough receiver in a receiving core that has Mooney, and that's about it. So there's plenty of targets to go around. Hopefully Fields takes a step up. I have Fields, so there's a stack possibility there if he does step in. And it's a 4th round. It's dart throws at this point.
I think in usability terms, I love him in redraft. He's like by my last round best ball pick in almost every single draft I've done, unless he somehow goes before me. They're talking about him lining up all over the backfield already. They're teaching him 2 positions. Like, you just love that type of usage. They referenced Deebo Samuel when they drafted him, and they're kind of doing that in practice. I think Velus Jones, yes, the Dynasty community loves to shit on him because of how old he is coming out, and that's fair. He might have a long, less time here, but wasn't he the same age as Cooper Kupp when he came out? I'm not saying he's going to be Cooper Kupp, but like that stuff people overrate that stuff, in my opinion, like to the nth degree. I really think Velus Jones in the 4th round is, if he had fallen to me instead of Pierre Strong, I would have gone him too. He was the next guy I had queue up. So yeah, I like that pick as well. Why don't we go down? I think we're kind of, is this over? Is this the last pick here? Yeah, we wrapped up. So Gray going to San Fran. So we have wrapped up that 4th round with Dulcich. I like that pick by tailback. That's my 3rd tight end, although Otten might be leaping over him. Bellinger, maybe the next Evan Ingram, or not Evan Ingram, Dawson Knox rather, for Dable over there at the Giants. You got the Chiefs backfield potentially for Kendall. Why not take a stab at a running back there? McKinnon coming there makes it even more crowded and gross. And then Gray, I guess it's just bet on Shanahan. Why don't you guys think of your favorite pick of the draft and your least favorite pick of the draft? And if you want to give reasons why, you can. But if you just want to shout out the picks, that's also fine as well. I'm just going to go left to right, so starting with me, and then we'll move down the line. So Dane, you'll be next, if you guys can see the kind of bar down there. My least favorite, again, I really don't like passing up on Drake London, even if you had the team need. Guess, Duck, it is true you're a contender and you think you're that running back away. I get it, but I think passing on London is going to come back and make you regret it. So I don't love that one. And of course, you're going to sit back and be the champ next year and laugh in my face when we replay that. In terms of my favorite pick, it's tricky, but I think Wandale, where he fell, is a really nice one. I got to shout out Trey McBride though. There, mid-round 3. Like, I was foaming at the mouth ready for him. I know you got Zach Ertz to beat this year, but man, to potentially be the Kyler Murray tight end 1. Zach Ertz had the 4th most targets in the league last year. I think he's truly a special player. I think that's a guy that, like, maybe down the road is top 5 year in and year out in redraft for tight ends that fell to round 3 for Kendall. I was very excited at the prospect of him coming to my team at 6. So that really hurt. I like the Trey McBride pick a lot. So that's my least favorite's Kenneth Walker at 2. My favorite's Trey McBride at that mid-round 3 right there. What do you think, Dane? Favorite, least favorite?
Least favorites. I don't know how much I trust Tyler Algier. So I don't know if that was more of a situation of kind of need more than best player available for Jimbo there. But my favorite pick is probably still Jimbo, unless there's some bad news that came out about Justin Ross recently. I mean, that could be the steal, right? If he gets back to full health. We're talking about Drake London here, but I mean, Justin Ross was being talked about. I mean, how high was Justin Ross talked about being drafted in the NFL draft before his injury problems?
Right. He outperformed T. Higgins as a rookie, or as a freshman rather. So yeah, I get that, and he gets Mahomes too. So there's a ton of upside there at that pick. Yeah.
Am I ignorant or something here, or like I feel like he could have even gone earlier and it still would have been justified.
I get that. It's a tough injury to bounce back from, I guess, is the counter there. Like he hasn't shown that form in a couple of years, but if he returns to it, sure. I get that.
Other than like we got Wandale and Trey McBride with third round, we're starting to do some dart throws. So I feel like he could have went. Justin Ross could have went earlier. Would have been totally understandable.
Intrigued. What about you, Snow Deal? Who's your favorite, least favorite?
Least favorite. Looking at this board, probably Dotson at 7. I think that's a little bit of a reach. I see him usually going back end of the 112 usually. And favorite pick.
Especially with your boy Burks on the board too. I know that's your guy. So
yeah.
On Burks
I wasn't even thinking about that. I just think that's early. And I'd say my favorite pick's probably Wandale at 3-2.
Yeah. Some nice upside.
Good value. Nice upside. Ducks boy.
Just rubbing in the pain for Duck too. Nothing better. That's just a great benefit to any pick, is if it gets you the duck moan.
that was quite.
I wish I was on camera. Jump up in the air and just stomp around.
We'll have to see if we can CJ zoom in on Duck's face and just capture that moment right there. Yeah.
I'll definitely screen cap that tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Tunes, how about you, man? Favorite pick, least favorite pick? What are your thoughts?
Least favorite, I probably have to go with Dotson too. I saw him as a end of the first, maybe even beginning of the second. I think it was a little bit of a reach. Probably my favorite is Mechie, just because of how the coaches really just talk him up as a pro already. That definitely goes a long way in the locker room. And that's a team that, again, doesn't have much at receiver, so he could immediately step in, even if he's coming into the season late, and get some targets.
I'm glad you
like my third round.
Yeah, like absolutely. Cheers. CJ, least favorite.
I mean, there's honestly nothing that's that egregious, I don't think. But little things like Garrett Wilson going above Jameson Williams, I think that could be a mistake down the road. Maybe myself, because I don't have a second quarterback, going Willis over Ritter, because I feel like Ritter has a chance to actually start sooner than Willis does. And probably for my favorite picks, I love Rashad White in Tampa. He's such a good pass catcher, and I just feel like there's no one else in that backfield besides Fournette who can catch the ball or do anything really. So, especially with Ronald Jones gone, perfect.
I think Rashad White we didn't talk about enough because all those reasons you mentioned, and all the running back coaches are shitting on Fournette, saying he was horrible at his routes or whatever, and then shows up fat out of shape to camp. It's all ugly hype that I'm sure will go whatever, and he's going to be fine. But I see that for sure. He could be an absolute, if he becomes Tom Brady's next James White. Doesn't typically happen for rookie running backs, but man, he'd be an absolute steal there. I loved your analysis too of Ritter over Willis. If you didn't have the QB need, Willis definitely has the higher ceiling, but Ritter might start from day one, depending how camp goes. So you could have got an immediate.
Yeah, as I was making that pick, I was trying to go between back and forth and probably picked the wrong one, but it's all right.
Hey, we'll find out. We'll find out. What about you, Emery? Favorite pick, least favorite pick?
My favorite pick is definitely Mechie at 3-6. He like Toon said, he's already a pretty skilled receiver. He was incredible at Alabama, and Alabama does it right with their receivers. They always come out pro ready at least. My least favorite probably would be taking Wilson at 105 over Jameson, Burks. I mean, even Pickens and Pierce. Pierce would never go in the first round, but I like all those guys better than Garrett Wilson just because he's on the Jets. The Wilson combo I have very little hope in. Those two guys together probably won't do much. Not a big Zach Wilson guy.
Me neither.
No.
I'm with you too. The Jets fucking suck.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, and that's why you got Brees Hall's 101. Even though Ducks now Chase saying I changed my favorite all the pick to Brees, sure, but Jets are Jets until otherwise. The Jets are the fucking Jets. I don't want anything to do with them. So I feel you there, Duck, the moaner himself, the farting of dust and the moaning of just severe pain over there. What do we got, Duck? Least favorite pick, and the defending champ who had the team of the draft. Why don't you tell us that as well?
Team of the draft was Tunes. He maximized on his value just absolutely brilliantly. I was over here just cussing him out in my mind and applauding him at the same time. The mark of a good draft.
Yeah, so what did you know about it? Let's see. So Tunes, I'm going to click on his name. We got Drake London, Pickens, Pierce, Bell, Tolbert, Velus Jones, and Otten. Yeah, he went in with a lot of draft capital. You're thinking he maximized it. What did you like about it?
He obviously was wise enough to take what I handed him out of pure desperation with Drake London, but he took George Pickens, who literally has about as much upside as anybody in this draft. He's a very, very talented receiver. We know how I feel about Pierce.
Yeah.
Where's his name at? It disappeared on me.
Tunes is going to be trading some wide receivers this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some assets.
Velus Jones, I watched him break my cat's heart literally in front of my face. I had season tickets, and I had to witness that horrible Tennessee team beat us somehow. Velus Jones balled out in that game. Yeah, he's got a really good squad here.
I think that's how you do a rebuild. Like this is, you take that 5 separate stabs on receivers, hoping you get one, maybe even 2 that just become long-term, like 10-year, just stalwarts on your team. I think at least 2 of these guys, like Drake London and Pickens, both could be it right there. Mm-hmm. And then if Pierce does end up being a future back, I mean, that's how you do a rebuild after a tough one of the worst. You drafted Akers, and then like 2 days later he tore his Achilles last year. That's how you recover.
Next day.
The next day, not even 2 days. Yeah, you didn't have even 2 days to enjoy it.
And again, a lot of situations can change in a year. Houston's situation could change in a year. If they somehow bring in a top flight quarterback or something, who knows? Especially this past offseason with how much changed.
So,
absolutely.
Do I still get to crap on the worst pick and offer the best pick? Of course.
You gave us your team of the draft. Let's hear your best pick and worst picks.
Worst picks, Traylon Burks. Hands down. I mean,
let's hear it.
He still hasn't even been able to see the field yet. He's not building any rapport with Tannehill, who's been looking more towards Hooper. And if that tells you anything, then that just tells you how valuable those early reps are. I think you could have easily went Christian Watson and Sky Moore over him. More upside than Burks. Burks may have a path to a safer year 1, but year 2, I think that's a huge mistake. And the pick of the draft, I thought, was Justin Ross. The only reason he was a UDFA is there were questions about his physicals, whether he was going to pass after that neck injury he took at Clemson. But before then, he was just an absolute beast. He was a locked and loaded first-round pick that was soaring. He was outplaying T. Higgins, and now he's with Mahomes and already starting to flash early. He could easily supplant Juju, work alongside Juju. I think Justin Ross is the steal.
Intriguing. It's an interesting point too. Like work alongside Juju, Sky Moore and Juju seem more like competing type of forces. Whereas if Ross pans out, he's that alpha. He's the one that can fill that outside role. So there is a ceiling there. But we're acting like this guy's a sure thing after a couple of years now have gone by. We haven't seen him regain that beating out T. Higgins form. Which could he ever? Maybe. But yeah. It's where he went. I get the upside.
Yeah, 310. That's gravy.
That's worth the stab there for sure. All right, gentlemen. Anybody have a final last word before we kick it off? Yes, Snow Deal. Let's hear it.
Fuck Duck.
Man, he's calling me a racist in the chat because Higbee. I went to college with Tyler Higbee.
Tyler Higbee's a racist.
I don't disagree. But that doesn't
mean said ISIS these nuts to a guy.
I don't play that cancel culture crap. That's a bunch of BS.
He beat up a dude.
We better hang this thing up before it gets too off the rails, boys.
Burks wide receiver 1. Duck's all his players are gonna get injured.
Deal.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened to me.
Tunes is winning the chip.
That's right.
If there's any takeaway, especially if you're all still with us here, please again consider that thumbs up button. But also, if there's any good takeaway, I think Tunes showed This is how you do a rebuild. Sell, get a bunch of picks, and just, maybe they pan out, maybe they don't. But I think the stabs you took, definitely, whether it's inside the Cowboys offense, whether it's Pickens and the Steelers evaluation, whether it's Drake London, again, an absolute gift there. Tunes, who would you have gone if you weren't gifted, Drake London at 3? Who were you looking at?
Walker.
You were going to go Walker at 3? Okay. That's intriguing too. Intriguing. But I like it all. Well, good stuff. I do think Fuck Duck is a perfect way to sign off here. So Fuck Duck, and at RotoStreetJournal.com, we feed you fancy wolves. Check out all our content. Rookie rankings will be updated post-draft as well. I'm sure we'll be writing up. I hope the boys want to jump in. That first draft article we did roasted. So I think we got to do a follow-up to that draft and talk about who we went, why we went them, because that was a mock draft. Now we got the real thing here. So boys, we'll figure out some good content. Again, you'll find that at RotoStreetJournal.com. You can find me at RotoStreetWolf and all these other boys across Twitter. Thanks again, gentlemen. This was a blast having our first ever rookie draft. Hopefully you found it educational out there for you folks. And until next time, the wolf of the fancy sheep, be the wolf. Later, guys.